So I'm Kevin Williams, professor in pharmaceutical sciences at North Carolina Central University. A little bit about our institution. So NCCU is an accredited, historically Black college and university. We're affiliated with the University of North Carolina system. Our student body is about 75% African American. And we have a strong commitment to training students from underrepresented groups who want to pursue degrees in STEM and to health disparities research. And you can see a map there at the bottom, shows that we're in close proximity to Duke, UNC, and also NC State, and also Research Triangle Park. So a sort of unique location for our institution. So I was going to talk about some of the things we've been doing as collaborations and training. So one of the projects we've had for quite a few years now is with GAID developing a platform to identify effective therapies for IBC. So this really comes from a unique resource that we have at Bright, which is like a small drug discovery company. We have a high throughput screening and a high content core that allows us to screen compound libraries on many different targets. We have about 300,000 small molecules on site that we can access for screening, commercial and FDA-approved drug collections. We have automated systems for screening and database systems for analyzing the data. And so we do this collaborations, and also we get a lot of student training involved here. Students learn not just robotics and automation, but assay development, assay validation. So we've used this platform for IBC with GAID. We've published quite a few papers looking at, therapeutic responses on IBC models. So the other thing that, I've asked myself as faculty is, how do you engage basic sciences researchers with the community? So you go find out. So I talked to faculty in our public health education department. Saronda Robinson was the chair. She's a professor in that department. I talked to Dr. Nadine Barrett over at Duke, made these connections, and talked to IBC patient advocates such as Ginny Mason. So from these discussions, we put together a Coleman application for graduate training in disparities research. So part of that was to get our basic sciences students engaged in community projects. So as an outline of the program we had, it was funded by this Coleman grant. Like I said, it's to provide our PhD students at NCCU in not just basic translational research, but also community-based research. So really allow our students to get out of the lab and engage with the community. So we're just looking at the factors, biological and social factors that contribute to breast cancer health disparities. So we wanted to train students to implement community-based strategies to address the disease's disproportionate impact on African American women. Again, this was with a focus on IBC. So Dr. Robinson and Dr. Barrett developed a trainee-led IBC education and outreach project that allowed the students to really lead the project. So they met with patient advocates. They designed RRB protocols, facilitated listening forums, and facilitated focus groups, designed survey instruments. So as some of our NCCU Coleman students or scholars and trainees, they were really interested in not just doing the basic research on IBC or breast cancer, but getting out in the community and just talking with the community. So as a comment here from one of the students, this program is an excellent way for basic sciences grad students and postdocs to understand and value community engagement across a variety of settings. And they did a great job when they go out and talk with the community. So like I said, we had the students meet with patient advocates, and again, that's powerful. You heard from Terry and her story there. So Ginny Mason and Phyllis Johnson from the IBC Research Foundation came and visited our institution, spoke with the students. They wrote some articles on what we discussed. We've also met with Patty, and Terry's been engaged with our project. So we really use those discussions to help shape or frame how we wanted to engage with the community. So one of the things we've done is, and again, led by the students and Dr. Robinson and Dr. Barrett, was to put together some focus groups to understand what was known about inflammatory breast cancer in different communities. So this involved students learning about IRB approvals, writing IRBs, it collected demographic information, learn about survey collection and qualitative data analysis. So they really led these sessions. So we had 4 different focus groups. And they're listed here, including a meeting with the church, an African American breast cancer survivorship organization, and a sorority. And you can see some of the demographics there. So predominantly African American participants. And, we're working with a consultant to analyze this data. But just a quick snapshot of some of those findings. So from the focus groups, so the most commonly suggested strategies for sharing information about inflammatory breast cancer were social media campaigns, working with churches, working with schools to develop curricula, provide pamphlets, and we've got many comments. And like I said, we're still analyzing this data and presenting some of our findings.